Nickels. Some of y'all can't rub two of them together. Not today, devil. No biggie if you can't. We're gonna have some fun today, and we're gonna learn a thing or two along the way. I use a different style nickel hunting than I do with other denominations. I spend very little time using magnification, which really speeds up the process as a whole. In fact, the entire hunt should take about 2 hours, which makes it a lot more fun. But enough of this chit chat. Let's do it. As usual for nickels, nothing at first glance, but we'll check them out and see what we get. Very first roll, I already get a stroke of luck. It is a 1939. Now the 1939 D is a key date. Now if you get a 1939 with full steps, you're in for a load of cash as well. And don't forget there's a 1939 DDR as well. So let's see what we have here. Looks like it's going to be a filly. So that knocks this off. That's probably to be expected. Doesn't look like it has any steps. And no doubling whatsoever. But it is a 1939, I will keep it. Roll number 2 and found a 1946, 1 year away from being a war nickel. Very cool. Roll number 5, I found a 1938. Fortunately, it doesn't have the S mint mark on it, but still very cool, just same. You can get about $1.50 for this or upwards of that. Roll 10, found a nice little 1941. Roll 12, found a 2009. Now this guy also has a little die breaker along the date too, so this goes for a little bit more. You could sell this for $5 easy, especially because it has full steps on the back. Very last guy on that same roll, and I found another 1946. Okay, put it right back where I found it. And look at this. 1930S. I think in this condition I could probably get $10 for this. Same roll, and I did find these guys. There's a 1946 and another 1940. According to the Red Book, these guys are worth, just going to average it off, about 50 cents a piece, 50 cents a piece. But you do see these same guys selling on eBay for about $1.50. So ultimately, the worth of anything is what somebody will pay for it. And since the total price of these guys, people are selling them for $1.50 and buying them for $1.50, that's what I'm going to base this on. Roll 26, found a 1948. Now if you're wondering what this pile is right here, these are just insignificant 1950s. I'll probably go through them at the end. Now these guys are 1963s. I'll be checking them for that triple die reverse. If I found one of these live, my head would explode. Roll 30. And we have our first foreign, 50 pesos. Same roll, and I also find this 1949. So roll 31 found a 1947S. So this is from the San Francisco Mint. You can tell by the little S mint mark right there. Now, according to the Red Book, these go for a little bit more, but on eBay they go for the same. Roll 37, I found this guy. This is a Bahamian nickel. Roll 45, and I found another Buffalo nickel. Boom. Now this one's been beat up enough where I can't tell the date, and I have no nickel date here. Now if I had the nickel date, it might be worth a little bit more, so of course I'll hold on to it. But I could, as it is, I could probably get away with $2, $2 to $3 on this one. Also, I want to mention that I've been stacking some of these and not reporting them. Reason being is I just don't want to repeat myself. Alright, so much for that box. On to the next one. 75 must be my lucky number because I hit the trifecta on 1947s. I now have the Phillies, San Francisco's, and Denver's. I also found this guy here. It's a war nickel. It's 35% silver, and it is a 1943P. Now it is not the DDO, but I'll keep it, of course. And then I found this guy here. It's another no date, and without any nickel date, I can't find out if it's one of these key dates here. So can you spot the war nickel? It's right here. It's another 1943 Philly. Now the melt value or spot value for this for silver content is $1. Google will tell you these go for $5. Redbook will tell you these go for $3. If I was to value this one, it would probably go for $3. However, I never sell my war nickels. This is a time where people didn't know what language they were going to speak in 10 years. I love war nickels. They have such a great history about them. I always keep them. Also, that same roll, I didn't see it at first. I found a 1942. You can only assume it's a Philly. Okay, so here's the final haul. I got 4 1930s. I got 30 1940s of various years and mints. 3 Buffaloes. 2 war nickels. I didn't include those with the other count. 2 2009s. Now I was very surprised I only found 2. Florida is saturated with 2009s. I also found 51 1950s nickels. Now these guys aren't worth anything, but I keep them just the same because someday they will be. And 2 foreigns. Now on average these 1940s aren't worth that much. They average out to be about $1.25. Now when you think about it, if you were to sell them it would probably be on an online platform, so there'd be a fee there. You'd have to use a stamp for postage. You'd also have to make the listing. So it's really not worth selling them. That doesn't mean that people don't do it. There's a lot of people that sell these. Another thing people do is they'll put them in a coin book and then sell the entire coin book. Or you could do what I do, which is just hold on to them. You could also do a combination of all 3. Now, what's excited about these guys here? So here is a 1965. Now, this guy actually had 3 steps to it. Now, for it to be worth a lot of money, it needs 5 steps. But to find that many steps on a nickel that old is definitely pretty encouraging. Same thing with this guy here. Here's a 1968D. I can't really see it because there's some kind of discoloration right there, but this guy here also had a couple steps. And I'm actually going to hold on to that one. Now, what I'm most excited about is this guy here. Now that's a 1999 Philly. It's in amazing condition. For a second I thought it was a proof, and then I was sure it was going to be from the Denver Mint because they have a nicer finish usually, but I was shocked to find out that this was a Philly. It's definitely something to hold on to. So altogether the total value was about $69. Not bad for a couple hours. Alright, that was a real fun one. Again, it took about 2 hours and I found a bunch of keepers. Now the takeaway value wasn't as much as my other hunts, but it took a lot less time at the same time. Now if you like this channel, you can support it easily by making a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed, please feel free to do so. Next I'll be hunting pennies. Hope to see you then. Take care and God bless.